Saturday the 30th, Braintree track, and wrapping the week up a day early. I've got to be in London on Monday, so I'll go to Newham, so I had to pull today's session forward. Anyway, wrapping up with some max speed work today. So I'm planning to do 6x50, and then depending on how the legs feel after that, I might do 2x120 with a sprint, cruise, sprint split on each one. But we'll see how we get on. Did strength conditioning yesterday. But before we get into today's session, this is how the rest of the week has gone. Morning. Tuesday. Start of the next 8-week block. So this morning, let's talk about this week. So this morning's session was meant to be 2 times 3 or 2 times 4 by 300, gradually increasing the pace per 300, so between 70% and 80%. So what that means is 58 seconds down to 52, 9 minutes, 90 seconds recovery between each rep, and 5 minutes between sets. So that was the plan. I did 3 in the first set, 2 in the second, as I've only got myself to blame. So yesterday I hadn't done strength conditioning since last Wednesday. I should have really done it on Sunday after the 300 time trial, but as it was national holiday here in the UK yesterday, I did a longer session at home and paid the price for it today. Whew. I mean, I normally try and double up. That's what I've been doing recently. I'll do a workout first thing, do strength conditioning around lunchtime on the same day, which then gives me a whole day off of extra recovery. And that's what happened on Thursday, for example. But yeah, not a good idea. But anyway, still good hard session, 5x300 ultimately in the end. First one came in around 58 seconds. The rest of them were between 56 and 52. So yeah, all good, strong work. Thursday, I'll be over here, I think possibly Newham, just to do some strides again, depending on how the legs feel after the physio later today. And then at the weekend, I'm going to do that 7x200 session again that I did last week. I think I got 4 minutes off this time per rep, but anyway. So that's what's coming up this week. The 2 weeks following that, I'm going to have to start moving stuff around slightly, but not much. So on Saturday the 6th, we've got the Eastern Masters League final coming up in Thurrock, which I've spoken about before, and I'll be doing the 100, 200 and probably the 4x1. And then the week after that, on the Sunday, I should be down in Gillingham in Kent. So the Kent Masters is on that weekend, but they also have an open category for non-Kent eligible runners. And I've entered the 400 in that. So that'll be a good time trial. So 2 weeks time trial, 3 weeks time trial, 2 weeks time, 100, 200. So yeah. But anyway, that's today done. But yeah, that hurt. And anyway, but it doesn't matter. I knew it was going to hurt. I should have done the strength conditioning on Sunday, blah, 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 blah. Or left it until today, but I didn't. Anyway, there we go. Right, home for breakfast. Work, physio this afternoon. I'm not sure which bit of me for him to have a dig around at. I think we'll be focusing on the hamstrings and that Achilles today rather than the wrist. But yeah, all in all, an okay start to the week. Speak soon. Morning, Thursday the 28th. It's probably going to be on my last early morning track session at Braintree this summer holidays, I think. Anyway, hopefully we're going to do the same 7x200 session that we did last week. We need to see how things go on the warm-up. Physio on Tuesday started to receive some Shockwave Therapy on my Achilles, which was eye-watering. So yeah, it's going to be a bit sore today, so we'll see how we get on. Anyway, going to get this warm-up done. Talk to you at the end. Bye for now. Okay, warm-up done. So yeah, the plan today is up to 7x200, up with 3 or 4 minute recoveries, averaging around 33 seconds again, same as last week. But I've got niggles, yeah, that Shockwave Therapy on my Achilles. I should be okay to train. I'm taped up, but see how that goes. But yeah, I need to watch things at the moment. I seem to be compensating on the left a bit with my hamstring and stuff like that. So we're going to take it nice and easy, get into it, see how we get on. But yeah, last chance to get a morning session in before end of summer holidays, I think, today. So yeah, it's quite busy over here. There's 4 or 5 people here when I got here, which is unheard of, as you'll know, seeing as you watch me every week. But anyway, let's knock this on the head, get this session underway, catch up with you at the end. Right, 7 by 200. In the end, that turned out to be a really good session. I was a bit fed up after Monday. I was tired. My wife's been ill with a chest infection all week, and I feel like I've been fighting something off. So I wasn't quite sure how this morning was going to go, plus all the other bits and pieces that are going on. But my pacing wasn't perfect by any means. I was going too fast, and the Garmin, yeah, the slowest I did was 32.6. The rest were 31 something or 30 something. So faster than last time, felt better than last time, and got it done as well, warm. So I was just doing the first 200 of the 400 leg, only because there's a slight breeze and I prefer a tailwind rather than a headwind. And then give me 4 minutes to walk round the 200 to recover before I kick off again. But yeah, really pleased. Anyway, strength conditioning later. If not later, it'll be tomorrow. And then back over here Sunday to do a bit of speed work, I think. Got to think about Saturday week when I'm racing. So yeah, until then, see you soon. Bye. Right, all done. So good session in the end. 6 by 50, 2 by 120, and on the 200s you'll see a bit more of this coming up in the weeks to come. First 40 drive hard, cruise the next, drive hard the next 40. And I'll probably do that same session again on Thursday evening over here before Saturday. But I kind of need to get into that mindset of driving hard to start on the 2 and the 4, but then finding a cruise mode which is slightly above max, slightly below max. Anyway, so that's all done. On the whole, that's been an okay week, guys. I think, as I said before, I wasn't over the moon with how Tuesday went, but then Thursday went okay. This morning's gone okay. We've had a couple of strong strength conditioning sessions, plus that work I did at the physio. So yeah, onwards and upwards. I will see you at Newham on Monday. Bye for now.